This is our first episode of Behind the Signs, an interview series with top agents. I sat down with Nick Daymond, who launched his career in a market very similar to the one that we're in now, and how he's leading his team through today's market. He also talks about the number one way he and his team are converting leads. You're going to want to see this. Okay, ready?
Yes.
So you started your career in a market very similar to the one we're in now.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, that was back in 2009. Very similar to today's market. Listings were sitting on the market for a while. Not many buyers were ready to do anything. A lot of uncertainty in the economy. So reflecting very largely of what we're seeing today. Similar circumstances.
And when you launched your career, what were your primary influences? Like, who did you learn from in the beginning?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to have a family member in real estate, and they sort of, the way that they did business at that time was very different than we do business today. A lot of social influence, a lot of going out, meeting people, making good connections with people. And then I ended up joining a real estate team where the team lead was very, very focused on prospecting, really into the Mike Ferry programs, cold calling, door knocking, that kind of stuff. So I was lucky in a sense that I got to see two very different ways of the business being done, and did both of them at, I feel like, a high level, and was able to sort of come up with a great mixture and balance that works with my personality and still serves me to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that easy. You didn't just come upon the Nick way.
It was a journey. Yeah, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. If anyone is listening to this and having a tough time, it's natural. I've had a lot of tough times in this business. There's a lot of peaks, a lot of valleys. But the one thing that always needs to remain consistent is a high level of effort and a good understanding on your business and where the money is flowing from, where the clients are coming from, and keeping a really good pulse on that. You can sort of shift how you do things, but you have to have that daily effort going in order to move things forward.
Yeah. So you found your way, and you did that with the help of a coaching program.
I did a few different ones. At first, when I started, I did the Mike Ferry coaching program, and that's what really helped me build my database up at a high level. But I had all these people in my database, and all I knew was how to continue adding more people into my database and sort of making new connections. I wasn't the best at nurturing them, so I was able to then connect with another coaching program that focused largely on business by referral. And just the timing of how it all went down was great, because we started off building the database, and then I ended up really realizing I have this huge database and I'm probably not servicing it well. So my next portion of coaching, or my next big realization, was how do I really serve the people that are in there and make sure that they have a good experience so that they can refer me to their friends and family.
Yeah. And that's still primarily how you work today.
Now it is, yeah, pretty much. I really enjoy working by referral. I think that it would have been, you can't just start out working by referral because you have to have people to refer you. So I think that the combination of the two and just the way that the timing played out on that worked really well. And now I don't just do one or the other. I do a little bit of a combination of both. And there's things from each coaching program that I learned that I use in my business daily. And I think that I'm a big believer in there's not one right way to do things, but a combination of many. So I found the balance between the two that worked for me and still serve me well to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you were a solo agent for a long time, for the first several years of your career.
Yes, for quite a while, actually. Loved being a solo agent. It was a lot of fun. But eventually what ended up happening was I just started getting a little bit tired, and it's when you're working by yourself every day, you're not surrounded by people to bounce ideas off of all the time, and it becomes a little bit harder to grow when you're just by yourself constantly. So I really started thinking, okay, I would love to either join another team or start a team of my own, simply for the reason that I want to be around people that are collaborating together and being able to have really valuable conversations about the business, how to best serve clients. I mean, at the end of the day, having one mind thinking of that versus 5 or 6 is a huge difference. And it really helps your progress when you can band together with like-minded people and figure out the best way to move forward.
And that was when you were in an environment at a different location, a different brokerage, right? Where
yes,
there wasn't, I guess, a lot of collaboration going on for you to tap into.
No, not a lot of collaboration. One of the big turning points, I would say, was when you and I first met, came over to KW, and you had mentioned to me all of these like systems that I didn't even know existed. Thank you for that. And it really helped to put a level of organization into sort of like a ball of chaos, so to speak, because that's kind of how my business was before I came here. I was managing and doing well, but it was just so chaotic. I had no organization to anything. Everything was flying by the seat of my pants, and I felt like I was going insane. So I think that it was really nice. It was like a breath of fresh air when you're like, hey man, you don't need to do it this way. You can do it a little bit different, and it's gonna lower your stress levels, and you can still do really well just by adding this leverage and this level of organization to your business. So that was a huge stepping stone for us.
Awesome. So you went from a ball of chaos, in your words,
yes,
to a different ball of chaos. You hired your first admin.
Yeah, hiring admin staff is really something that will help take your business to the next level, but you have to be ready mentally and in the right spot in your business to be able to take somebody on. First of all, it's a big responsibility to have another person relying on you financially, and you're going to have an obligation to yourself and to this person to keep them busy, to keep you busy, and to really push the business forward. It's not their job to push your business forward. It's yours. It's mine. It's every agent out there who's hiring an admin. So really just getting those expectations out there. But there's no doubt that with the right admin, and you do have to account for training time. No business, even if the admin knows real estate business really well and has worked with teams, no team and no individual is going to work exactly like you or I. So you're going to have to spend a lot of time, if you want the level of service to be high to yourself, to your agents, and to your clients, going over these very small details that are going to really make your business stand out from the rest. Like, what are you guys offering to the clients together from an agent perspective and a back-end support perspective to the team and the clients that make you stand out from the rest? And these little differences that you train the admin on and your staff on are going to help really your team or your business stand out from the competition.
So it sounds like you're saying 1 + 1 has to equal 3.
Something like that.
It can't be 2.
No.
So you bring on admin. That was a bit of a bumpy ride.
Yeah, you know what? All of the admins that worked for us were great, and just different ebbs and flow of the business, but we ended up lining up with one that was really good, and everything started going extremely smooth. And yeah, it really, like, when you find the right person for the job, it's going to really take a lot of work off your plate. You know, sometimes if the person is not a good fit, you may end up getting a lot of work put back on your table. So finding someone who's a good fit, like culturally and aligns with your values and everything, is going to be really good, because ideally you don't want to have tasks that you're putting out there to be handled to be brought back to your table. So that's something really important when we were interviewing for a good admin is, hey, if I ask you to do something and you don't know how to do it, what's your next move? Is their move to hop on the computer, use all the AI tools that we have, call somebody else to figure out how to find a solution, or are they going to be calling me? It's a very good good answer to the question. So if there's any admins listening, think about that.
That's awesome. So then you bring team members on, and you learned the difference between transactional real estate and real estate leadership.
Yes.
And that was a journey in itself.
Big journey there. Transactional real estate and being a solo agent is just a totally different animal than running a team. Running a team, you simply don't have the time. If you want your team to be successful, like anything, you have to invest your time and effort into it. So you have to understand that when you're starting a team, you're going to be taking away from your initial transaction business, and your time and effort that you're putting into selling homes is going to be put into growing a larger structure and supporting other agents and helping them sell other homes and advise them and guide them, which ultimately takes time away from your direct clients. So, you really have to make sure that it's worth the trade and that you're going to give it 100% of an effort, because if you're going to be taking time away from your personal clients and business to help other agents, the juice needs to be worth the squeeze. It needs to make sense for everybody, right?
Yeah, that's a good visual.
Yeah.
You've gone through some ebbs and flows with team members and finding the right fit for team members, and now you've got a lean, mean ninja machine.
Yes,
as you say.
thank you. We're in a good spot right now.
And so, when you're looking at candidates now, knowing what you know about real estate leadership and the grit that it takes for transactional real estate, what do you look at in somebody that you're considering on your team?
Well, first and foremost, I want to make sure that they understand the true level of effort that this job is going to take. I think there's a huge misconception on the amount of effort that's actually required to be successful in this business. And I think you can attest to this, like the turnover rates in this business, like we don't make them up. They are what they are. They're quite high. Like I think most agents are leaving the business in 2 to 3 years, like over
less than 2, yeah.
Yeah, less than 2. I think it's almost over 80% or something like that. Or it's a very high number that should not be that high, right? So I think there's a huge misunderstanding on what the business actually entails. So when I sit down with an agent, I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be a good fit for us. Number one, I want to make sure that everything's running perfectly smooth on the back end, that we're going to be able to help this person. And, is there gaps in their business that we're going to be able to fill? There's some people that come through and I'm like, I can't help this person. And that's fine. And it's not going to be a good fit. But then there are certain individuals who I speak to where I'm like, oh, if these people come on board, we're going to change their life. And so those are the types of people that I'm really striving to have conversations with and meet.
That's awesome. You've modified how you do business right now based on the market that we're in.
Yes.
How did you know to make that shift in your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I always we spend a lot of time organizing and reviewing information and data. And, there's different markets that call for different types of action. And I didn't know this until I sat down and organized things in a way that I could see what was working and what wasn't working. So at the end of any given month, we're looking at, who are all the new additions to our database? Where did they come from? And how far along in the buying and selling process are these specific people? So if your database is really well organized and everyone's tagged properly where they came from and all the details are put in there in an organized manner, you can very quickly see what's working and what's not working. So I actually I don't choose the prospecting method that's going to work. The market chooses for me. And all that I do is I look at the information on a monthly basis and see where the most opportunities are coming from and where people are having success. And then those are the areas that we double down on. I'm not trying to force something to work that I'm not sure if it will or not. I'm simply looking at data that the market and the database is providing me and choosing to focus my time in those areas.
Today's, we're not in the easiest market right now necessarily. What would you tell somebody who's watching you from the outside, see your success? What would you tell that person about what it took to get here and what they could do?
First and foremost, everyone has bad days where you feel like nothing's working. You got to just push those thoughts to the side. The market is always going to be challenging. Even back when we were in the peak market, it was challenging in a different way. We were writing 30 offers for every buyer client, and you have a 1 in 30 chance of actually completing a sale. That was also a challenging market. So the market is challenging today, just in a different way. So I would say spend a lot of time focusing on what's working for you. If you don't know what's working for you, spend some time exploring different prospecting methods and techniques. Find one that you're going to have success with by analyzing the result of what you're doing and run with it. And I guarantee you that you're going to have success. There's lots of buyers in this market that are ready to buy. There's lots of sellers in this market, obviously, that want to sell their homes. And in order to find them, you just have to do what the market is showing you to do. And it will speak to you very loudly if you pay attention.
I have been so honored to watch you grow in your time here. It's been so much fun to see. And I'm honored to be a sounding board or a cheerleader when you need it. And very, very proud of you and happy for you for what you've built. It's very cool to see, my friend.
Thanks, Tenley. Thanks for all the help and support over the years. I appreciate you very much.
No problem, buddy.
Alrighty.